Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Hey, welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Mike Donley, here with my brother Randy Donley. We run the Donley Auctions Service out in Union, Illinois, which is 45 minutes northwest of O'Hare. How you doing, Randy?
Good morning or afternoon again. 1 o'clock already. Jeez Louise.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Mike. What a day we've got going on today with the auction. Come on out, folks. We've got our Summer Classic going on as we speak.
Yeah, day one of the Summer Classic. If you aren't out here already, you can join us online at DonleyAuctions.com. We're right in the middle of the auction. Still a lot of great things coming up for sale today. And we're going to be talking more about tomorrow, which is all the cars and everything. A lot of great stuff coming up.
This goes on for 2 days, the rest of the day today, and again tomorrow. If you want to get here for viewing in the morning, we open up at 8 a.m., but the auction starts at 10 until it's done.
Yeah, and all the cars are on site here, so you can take a look at them and get here a little early to look them over good, because there are some real great ones, and we'll be talking about those in just a little bit. But I want to cover what a crazy week it's been. I mean, it's
what week isn't?
Man,
every week at Donley Auctions is an adventure, I got to tell you.
Last Saturday, I was out at the Steam Show out in Sycamore, which was unbelievable. We had.
That was fun. You had some live coverage. It was fun. Susan and I were here in the studio talking to you at the show. That was good.
Yeah, then you came out on Sunday, too. You were out there on Sunday afternoon.
That we were,
to see the show. And we were out there showing a great collection of hit-and-miss engines that we had taken in for our November auction. For those of you who don't know what a hit-and-miss engine is, they were one-cylinder farm engines that provided power for farmers, usually a 1-horse to 2-horse engine, and they got their name because they would hit, they would go, and then they would go, as they would coast. They had governors on them, so when there was no power on them, they would just hit and then coast for 20 or 30 revolutions and then hit again just to keep them running.
Yeah.
But they powered sawmills, they powered milking machines, they pumped water, they provided a lot of great power for farmers.
Exactly, and that's pre-electricity, folks. That's when people still did not have the advantage of having electricity on their farms, because Thomas Edison actually provided us with the light bulb in 1879, which exploded the need or the demand for electric power.
Correct, and it wasn't until Samuel Insull, actually, who was Thomas Edison's secretary, came to Chicago and formed Commonwealth Edison by bringing all the small Edison people together and forming Commonwealth Edison, and that's what he embarked on the electrification of the rural areas. So we have him to think about that.
Now, can you imagine that, Mike? I mean, here Thomas Edison comes up with this invention of the light bulb. Well, it's not like he only had the light bulb. 1,100 inventions in his lifetime. Well over 1,000 anyway. Significant inventions. But he invents the light bulb, and there's such a demand for it that now he has to electrify the entire country, which means he has to invent and manufacture all the big giant generators and everything in order to electrify the whole country.
Bringing all the powers out, building substations, switches, everything. He had to invent the entire industry. That's correct.
And then when he finishes the United States, he goes across the ocean and does the same thing overseas.
Yep.
Wow.
So anyway, going back to the hit-and-miss engines, we had this big hit-and-miss engine collection, so we took it out to the Sycamore Steam Show. We also had steam engines, and so I met a lot of people out there that want to consign to this auction. So if you have anything in hit-and-miss engines, steam engines, even little small model steam engines, tractors, we had some people call us if we would auction off a John Deere tractor for them, anything like that, advertising for tractors and engines and such like that. That'll be part of our Fall Classic, which will be on the Sunday, November 17th. Our Fall Classic is going to be a 4-day that's coming up this fall. November 14th through 17th, but the hit and miss engines will be on November 17th.
Wow.
So that's coming up.
That it is. My goodness. So again, yeah, I just had somebody call me yesterday, as a matter of fact, who said they met you out at the show, and they're going to bring us 3 engines and a tractor. So we're doing tractors also.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything farm related like that, we'll put in this auction.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's only one day of the 4 days, though.
Correct.
So in November, we're still looking for the usual goods that we sell in every fall classic.
Yeah, with coin op and jukeboxes and pinball machines,
slot machines, pinball machines, always Petroliana, always
gas pumps, and
cars, signs. We need a big sign collection, folks. I mean, a big porcelain sign collection. So if you have anything in that realm, we need it now because, people always say, oh, it's so far away, and everything. In auction world, our November auction, I mean, we're photographing that already now. So you can't wait. People call us all the time in October. Oh, I've got some items for your November auction. No, it's too late. We're already under catalog. So you need to call us soon.
Yeah, because when we take your items in, we just don't just throw them up online. We research them, we advertise them, put them in front of the eyes that are going to pay the most money for this. So it takes us time. We just can't do that in a week's time. Yep. So, call us as soon as possible so we can get started.
815-923-7000.
Yeah. Or at DonleyAuctions.com. You can consign at DonleyAuctions.com. Yeah, or give us a call because our girls are taking calls every day from our listeners and other people that have things for us to come take a look at. So
what else has been going on this week?
Well, you tell me. You just got back from Los Angeles.
Wow. Yeah. So speaking of the November auction, it's so funny because we were planning an ad that we do in one of the trade magazines for Coin Op. And we're thinking, we really don't, we've got some nice stuff, but not that highlight, rare piece that we're looking for to entice people with the ad. And lo and behold, as we're speaking and we're working with our crew trying to figure out what the ad is going to encompass, we get a phone call from California, and he's describing all these machines. And I said, please text me some photographs. He texted me photographs, and I was on a plane the next morning to go consign this collection, and what a bunch of fun stuff. A whole collection. And one of the highlights, some of the slot machines that are coming up are really rare slots. I mean, when we go into homes, most of what we get are slot machines, old 3-reelers that were just workhorses in taverns and everything. And they're, relatively common. But this gentleman in California was a target collector, and we've got a few really rare slot machines coming in, and then a collection of, what would you call those? Cigar trade stimulators. Yes.
They were made by Watling, and they stood on a pedestal, and you'd put a penny in there and press a lever, and it would... there was usually a suit of 5 cards. There'd be 5 windows on there, and the cards would spin. And depending on whether you got a royal flush or a pair or 3 of a kind, just like playing cards, you would the better the hand, the more cigars you would win.
And it's so funny because these are gambling devices, and as Mike said, they're on cast iron monopoles that you'd stand in front of these things and put in your nickels. And traditionally, all these machines were operated by a penny or a nickel. But when you get to gambling, it's almost always a nickel was the universal coin at the time. But here I'm looking at this setup in the gentleman's living room, all these coin games. And then it occurred to me, times really haven't changed, because that's exactly what's going on right now with all the video poker. Here, I'm looking at all these old mechanical card games that are lined up here, and these are all turn of the century pieces, anywhere from the 1890s to about 1920. And here, that's what we've got going on with every restaurant and bar has at least probably 5 machines
in the state of Illinois. Yeah,
yeah.
And so many of them you can bet a penny on. You feed $10 into it, but you can bet a penny.
Are you serious? Well, see, I'm not a gambler, so I wasn't aware that you could bet pennies.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's back to that. So.
I don't know how you make money on a penny, but apparently it's for amusement, Mike,
yes.
and not for gambling purposes, but the amusement of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what else we got cooking?
Well, we can talk more about what you found out in Los Angeles out there, but then we're going to discuss November. We're going to talk about Sunday heavily about what's coming up for tomorrow. But stay tuned. You're listening to Mike and Randy Donley here on the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560, and we will be right back after the break.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour, here with Mike and Randy Donley. We run Donley's Auctions out in Union, Illinois, and we're talking about some of the stuff we got coming up here. I'm looking over here, Randy. Right now you're pulling all these goodies out of your bag over there. What do you bring back here?
Well, when I was in California, of course, I went for gambling machines. Okay, well, as most collectors, Mike, do you think he ended with gambling? No. So he said, how about cars? He said, I see you guys do a lot with cars. And he consigned several cars, a rod, not a rat rod, hot rod, made out of an old Model A. That's really cool. I mean, and then some other cars, a Mercedes. We don't just go with antique cars, as you know, anything that'll sell. So he's sending us several cars from California. And then he said, your last coin auction. I was really surprised at the results with that. He said, let's do some coins. And he pulled out, look at it, I've got them here, all these gold pieces that he thought we did good with gold. And then he said, what about watches? He said, I've got a series. He said, I've got some watches that'll sell just for gold. And he said, that's okay. But he said, do you do anything in Rolex watches? And he pulls out, this nice Rolex here that I have in my hands as we speak, an Air King. And I said, yeah, of course, we do it all. So we've got a lot of items coming in just from this collector. And again, it's always so funny. I get a kick out of, we go for one thing and we just end up, never knowing. It's treasure hunting. It really is.
What else? Is that a $10 gold back there?
Yeah, look at this. This is from Bakersfield, California.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? A $10
the First National Bank of Bakersfield. Yeah.
A banknote. So and this banknote will probably go for like $700. It's just a $10 banknote. But we do a lot with currency, folks. So if you have coins, currency, you name it, we're looking for it. We can sell it for you. And what's our motto, Mike?
We make it fit
in your wallet. Yes.
Things like currency, people don't realize a $500 bill, a $1,000 bill, they're not only worth face value, but they bring a premium, and depending on condition, they may bring double or triple face.
Absolutely. Especially the $1,000 bills. There's $1,000 bills that'll bring you $10,000 easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Mike, you wanted anything else we want to talk about this last California trip? Probably not.
No, that's coming up. All that stuff will be coming up in November for a November Fall Classic, the 14th through 17th. So if you got anything in line for that, again, we're talking slot machine, jukeboxes, anything coin-op games, the baseball machines, the pinball machines, any
antique architecture. We're selling a bar during this classic that it came out of one of the was it an Anheuser-Busch distributorship?
Yeah, the Budweiser distributorship in downtown Chicago.
Right in Chicago. So we're selling a bar out of that facility. So we're always looking for bars and back bars. And I actually myself have a need. I want a real fancy entryway, a door or a set of doors that's all leaded glass and maybe all the molding that goes around it and the casing and surrounds. Mike, as you know, I'm working on an office project here, and I really, for a new office I'm working on at Donley Auctions, I want a wowie-zowie entrance.
All leaded glass and such? Something
really spectacular. I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. But, folks, if you've got an interesting set of doors for me to put on my office, I'm really looking for something crazy good.
And that's the other thing. We do sell a lot of leaded glass, especially in our spring and fall classics. I mean, leaded glass windows, for the most part, they don't bring a lot, but there are windows that do bring money. We've got up to $60,000 for windows.
We have. Some of the landing windows that came out of some of these old mansions, which most of those mansions were torn down. In the 60s,
50s and 60s.
Yeah. And these leaded windows ended up somewhere. A lot of people have them in their homes, and surprisingly, so much of this stuff, it was all good intentions. Everybody thought they were going to do something with it, but it's still just kind of laying around. Like that last really nice landing window. A gentleman said, I was always going to use this, and now the reality's there. It's never going to happen. Mm-hmm. So it's time to go, and that happens.
Speaking of, you made a comment there about good intentions of things that people get. What about the motorcycle that's in the auction tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. A gentleman bought he always wanted a Harley, and this goes all the way back to 1965. He buys a Harley that had been used and abused, so to speak. It was a racing bike, a Harley racing motorcycle, and he always wanted a Harley. So he in 1965, he buys this Harley off of a gentleman that he figured he was going to restore and ride. And
what year was it?
Pardon me? It's a 1931. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1931 Harley racing bike. And, he buys it in 65, and here we got it for the auction. And between 65 and now, unfortunately, again, good intentions, always going to get around to it, and it just didn't happen. So, now he realizes the time is, even if he could restore it, he's not going to ride it. So it was time to sell it. So it's being offered tomorrow.
Yes, it is. It's in tomorrow's auction. It is. I'm looking at it right here, right now. It is lot number 2078B, 31 Harley Davidson. Boy, is it a beauty. I mean, it's got such
really
the look.
Isn't.
It's got the look.
It's a beater. It's what we refer to as a barn find. But a lot of people would want it just like this.
Yeah, we just blew the dirt. We had the boys with the compressor just kind of blow the dirt off and stuff.
We just blew it dust free, but now it's
it's something you just want to hang on the wall. It is. It's
just as is.
Yeah,
because that's got the look. Cool. We were talking about this the other day. You can't unrestore something.
No.
So if you've got a piece that's a neat, original, even if it's rusty and it just looks cool, once it's restored, that look is gone forever, and you can never get that look back. That unrestored look is something that has happened over time, and you just can't create it. So think about, really be careful when you restore stuff because, again, you can't unrestore it.
Some of the other motorbikes and motor scooters we have coming up, we have a cute pair of 1959 Riverside Silver Pigeons in his and her colors. Those two motor scooters.
Aren't those cool?
They're totally restored. They are so neat. They're being sold as separate lots. But boy, if a husband and wife wanted a pair of scooters, these are the ones to buy. I mean, they're so cool. They'll be coming
down to Boca del Vista.
Yes. They'll be coming up tomorrow. They're lot 2072 and 2073 tomorrow. Some of the other stuff we got coming up. We got a 63 Cushman Eagle scooter in there. We got a vintage Super Twin Monarch motorbike. That's another one that's got a great look on there. It's got that old-time motorcycle look. That's a lot.
Well, and again, it's old and rusty. It's a lot. Number what, Mike?
2075.
You there. I'm sorry.
More modern bikes. We got a 2001 Honda 11 Silver Shadow, 1100 Shadow Sabre Trike.
Spit it out there, Mike. Go ahead.
That's a real cool bike. That's coming up. 1999 Harley Davidson Road King Classic. That's lot 2078. So we got some great motorcycles coming up tomorrow too.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, and sure as heck, the gentleman from California said to me, "Here, take my motorcycle too." He said, because I'm done with this. He said it was a fun toy, but it's time to get rid of it. So we'll sell motorcycles, and we're always looking for more motorcycles for November.
November, yeah.
So,
parts too, old Harley parts. Harley parts bring crazy money because these guys are restoring the bikes, and they want original parts, not reproductions.
I know a guy that spent $17,000 to buy one fender for his motorcycle because he wanted it old and original. It was the right color, right everything, right fit. $17,000 for a fender.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, never underestimate what people will pay for this stuff, folks. And, we don't want you selling it at a garage sale for nothing. So
815-923-7000 is all you got to do to get a hold of us.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about the cars we got coming up tomorrow. Got a lot of cars we want to talk about. And stay tuned. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Mike Donley here with my brother Randy. We run Donley Auctions out in Union, Illinois, and we're talking about our Summer Classic, which is going on now. We're in day one right now. Now, day two is tomorrow, Sunday, and we'd like to have you come out. I mean, if we have some great cars out here, we refer to most of them as barn finds because that's what they were, most of these cars. We found them in barns stashed away. Some of them have been there for 40, 50, even 60 years. And some are really nice, drivable, actually, but a lot of them are for restoration. And if you're looking to restore a car, I'm going to go over in a minute some of the dates and models that we have here. But if you're looking to restore a car, come on out tomorrow. We're only an hour 45 minutes northwest of O'Hare Airport, just off I-90. And come out and see some of the cars we're selling out here. I mean, you can go up on our website right now and look, but we got some really great stuff coming up.
I have to say my favorite is that 41 Plymouth convertible. Mm-hmm. I mean, that could use a brake job, but otherwise it's ready to go. I mean, starts and runs.
Yeah, the gentleman that had that, he's passed, but that was his driver that he took to auto shows and such. And
what a great look.
Just classic. But starting with some of the cars we have tomorrow, we have lot 2050, which is a 1927 a Chevrolet touring car. This is one of the last of the touring cars, the open touring cars that was made before everything became enclosed. So, and that's a runner. I mean, it's a great family.
That's a nice parade car. I like that too. I mean, if you wanted to take the kids or grandkids in a parade or just cruise around the neighborhood, that's a fun car. Again, it starts and runs.
Yeah, it's all you need. You don't have to worry about, it's got a nice paint job on it. You don't have to worry about anybody getting a little nick in it or something like that.
Right,
it's a car to have fun with, and that starts at $3,500. I mean, that's not a lot of money.
No.
And then we got a 46 Ford Super Deluxe four-door sedan. That's a beauty. That's just post-war production.
There's a couple of those Fords, aren't there?
Yeah, and I mean that's in really nice condition. I mean, these were bar finds. When we pulled these things out, they look so filthy dirty. And Trevor spent about a week cleaning these cars up, and man, you wouldn't even recognize them. Some of the paint jobs are really cool on them.
Surprising how nice the paint is.
That just starts at $2,500. I mean, that's nothing.
Wow.
So lot 2052 is a 30 Ford Model A four-door sedan. Another driver. I mean, that's a nice car to have fun with. We got a 50 Plymouth Special Deluxe four-door sedan. Mm-hmm. Another beauty. I mean, needs a little work. But
hey, what are those VW buses out there? Back in the day when we were selling the Grateful Dead items, those would have really been popular, huh?
Well, we got a couple of them. We got a 72 VW camper microbus. It's all there, and it's ready for restoration. That only starts at $2,500. I mean, these things, when they're restored, go for upwards of $100,000. I mean,
well, I saw a guy out in the parking lot looking at one of those the other day, and I said, well, this one doesn't have a title on it. And he said, perfect. He said, because I don't care. He said, what I'm thinking of doing is making a playhouse for the kids. I swear to God.
I've seen that done. You know what else I've seen them do with these? There's a place up in Milwaukee at the public market called On the Bus, where they've taken the VW bus and made that their food concession stand.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It was really cool.
So there are many, many uses to repurpose these vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah, we got another VW camper bus in 1970. That's more for parts. It's pretty rough, but that only starts at $500. I mean, the engine's worth more than that in it.
Well, even the art, all you have to do is cut the front of it off, and you can sell that as a wall-mounted art. And I've seen those things where they ask $5,000-$10,000 just for the art, to create that.
We got a couple Mustangs in here. We got a '67 Ford Mustang two-door convertible. That's a beauty. It's got, I think it's got a 289 in it.
It does, yeah.
I don't know whether it's automatic or not, I forget. But that's starting at $2,500. I mean, come on. I mean, these Mustangs bring a lot of money. So come on out and take a look and bid on that. It needs to be restored, but it's all there. I mean, it's not bad. And
we love barn finds.
We got a 66 Mustang. Now, that one there is more for parts. I mean, that's a hard top. But, we got a starting price of $150 on that for a 66 Ford Mustang.
And we, as you know, folks, we sponsor the Sean Thompson show. And I was talking with Sean yesterday, and he said, Randy, find me an old caddy. He said, I'm looking for a caddy. He said, anything from the 50s right on through the 70s. So if you've got a Cadillac that you're looking to sell, we've got an eager buyer.
Yeah. We got a 51 Ford F1 pickup truck in Army colors, and that's a beauty. I mean, that doesn't need much at all. 48 Ford two-door. In the newer stuff, there's the 41 Plymouth Special Deluxe convertible.
There it is.
That is so nice. So nice. We got newer stuff. We got a 72 Fiat Sport convertible. We even got a 77 Ford Pinto two-door there. We got something for everybody out there. We got a 75 old Tornado. I mean, that's a big old boat. Look at that thing.
That sure is.
With a starting price of $4,000, and this thing is in really nice condition.
What's that big camper bus?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that a little more when we come back.
Time, right?
Just too much to talk about here. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560. Mike and Randy Donley. We run Donley Auctions out in Union, Illinois. We're talking about our auction for tomorrow, and we'll be right back after the break.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
Back again with Mike and Randy Donley for the Donley Auctions Hour.
I love auction day. You got to come out here, folks. If you haven't been to Donley Auctions before, get out here for tomorrow's auction. We're midway through the auction already today, but tomorrow, Sunday, Mike's talking about all the goodies that we've got lined up, and we'd like to meet you. Come on out and say hello. Mike and I will both be there along with Susan, who you know from the show also. So come on out and see us all.
You were asking me about the camper bus.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 1977 GMC Eleganza, 26-foot motorhome. And this is really cool. I mean, isn't that a classic look?
Well, yeah. It hasn't that been in one of those movies?
I think this was in the not this
bus,
one, but the same
style.
model was in stripes, I think, with Bill Murray.
Yeah, it seems to me we've seen that in one of those comedies, but it's a great look. Again.
And this thing is ready to go. This guy was using it up until he brought it out. And
he drove it there, yeah.
Yeah, and he gave us a list of what he's done to it. I mean, this thing needs nothing. It is a beauty.
Well, never say nothing.
Well, no, but, and that's another thing, too. Most of these cars, we're going to tell you, I would never drive a car from an auction that you buy just because of the fact you never know, what if it needs a hose or something, or
you have to have it mechanically checked out before you're going to.
So if you come up to the auction and you are a successful bidder, you can either bring a trailer and haul it yourself, or get a service to do it. There's many options to moving the vehicle, and although we don't want them laying there for any length of time, you don't have to take them immediately. You've got a few days or a week to get the items out of there.
Right.
So definitely come on out tomorrow and check out this auction. There is so much other stuff in here too. I mean, I'm looking through here. We got animal mounts. We got a beautiful elk head. We got a couple bear rugs in there. We've got garden statuary. Fine art. We've got the bar that Randy talked about, the Brunswick bar tomorrow.
Slot machines and jukeboxes, pinball machines,
fountain pens. I mean, it's high-end fountain pens. We have just some beautiful stuff here coming up tomorrow. So,
I like that old railroad velocipede. Susan and I talked about that last week. How you have to crank it. Hand crank it back and forth to get it going, but man, once you're cruising on the railroad tracks with that, you can really rip.
Yeah, it works like one of those old Irish mails, and two wheels sit on the rail, and then there was an outrigger that went over the other rail that you could put, and still today, there's clubs that use these. Like the old hand cars, there's clubs that get together and have these where you can still on abandoned sidings. They allow you to use these. There's clubs that'll use them.
And motion picture equipment, all the projectors. We haven't had projectors in quite a while. Now all of a sudden we've got projectors and spotlights and everything. What a nice auction this really is.
One of my favorite things here is that this guy that brought in that gas pump, the Bennett gas pump from the late 60s, early 70s. He worked for an advertising agency, and they brought him the gas pump. He was working for Arco. They were Sinclair. Sinclair was redoing their logo to Arco. So he was working for the advertising agency that was doing all the transition in the artwork. So they brought him a brand new gas pump so they could see what they had to work with to redesign all the graphics on it. And when they were done with the project, Sinclair said, you can have it. So the guy had it in his office for the last 50, 60 years, and it's brand new.
It's mint brand new, never used, yeah. And here's the beauty of that. I mean, if you've got an expensive vehicle that you want the right pump in front of, sometimes we'll go into a man cave and we see somebody's got a 1960s or even 70s vintage car, and they've got a visible gas pump in front of it, which is the wrong era. I mean, although the gas pump is cool, you shouldn't have a gas pump from the 1920s in front of a 70s car or 60s. So this is the right gas pump for your man cave. It's really, again, mint and brand new.
A lot of petroleum. We got the tire inflator air pumps. We've got globes for your gas pumps. We've got the beautiful mobile Pegasus statue. Again, gas pumps. Just really, really cool stuff. Advertising.
Yeah, we just sold one of those for Volo. Remember, in one of our last auctions, it was actually up on top of their gas station for years.
Advertising signs, for Pennzoil, golf, we just got some unbelievable stuff. So it's definitely worth your while to come out to this auction.
And again, music. We've got all kinds of music, Nickelodeons, music boxes, Victrolas, again, all the stuff that we do. And keep this in mind, folks, we're looking for more. We repeat this auction, it used to be twice a year. Now it's 3 times a year. But in November, we need all this merchandise all over again. So we need you to call us with what you have for sale. Send us pictures. You can call us at 815-923-7000 or go to our website. That's DonleyAuctions.com. And that'll navigate you through getting some photos to us. But easiest way really is to call the office, and the girls will direct you right to us.
One of the things that I'm just scrolling through here with the stuff coming up for tomorrow, this Jimmy and Ty's Wrigleyville tap. You talk about a piece of baseball history right there. There's the sign from the tavern across the street from Wrigley Field, where all the players used to hang out. That's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and
2,300.
A sign is being sold, as well as the foul ball posts and bricks from the building
from Sox Park. I mean, just you got to go to DonleyAuctions.com to look at this stuff. I mean,
the variety is overwhelming.
It is. But once again, you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560. What do we got? Only one more segment to go. We're running out of time again.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after the break.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Donley Auctions Hour here with Mike and Randy Donley.
Never enough time, is there, Mike?
There never is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just too much to talk about.
I always said this should be a 2-hour show, but we do what we do.
So coming up, what do we got coming up? In Guns and Military again, September 21st
we
21st and 22nd.
A lot of gun and military auctions, folks. So we're always looking for your, whether it's a single item or an entire collection. We've picked up, 400 or 500 guns out of homes already, and somehow people are almost embarrassed to tell us that they've got 400 guns. There's nothing wrong with that. Being a gun collector, there's it's a very, very popular hobby.
It is, yeah, and guns are always a good investment too. I don't think guns ever go down. Even used guns hold their value. It's really amazing. So
they really do, and what I always like is writing the checks to people for guns, because they're expensive, and you're not writing checks for $10 and $20 items or anything. I mean, everything is in the mid hundreds on up. And I told you I just got back from California, and sure as heck, this gentleman also said, "Hey," he said, "I've got some machine gun parts." Oh, okay. So the receiver's not there, but he's got a Browning World War I machine gun missing the receiver, and that's okay, because parts for guns like this are still very valuable
and legal to sell. Yep.
Yes, yes.
And that's another thing. When you're consigning with us, we're handling all the paperwork. We're following all state and federal regulations, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, the gun laws are changing constantly, and as of right now, you cannot, as in the past in the state of Illinois, just sell a gun to somebody. You have to go down to the police station now, and they have to fill out a form at the police station. You can't just sell it anymore like you used to.
Well, you can through Donley Auctions, because once you deliver, or you don't necessarily have to deliver them, we'll pick them up also. But once you surrender them to us for an auction, we give you a complete list of what you've got with us and a copy of our FFL. Bingo. You've complied with state and federal laws, and you have nothing to worry about beyond that.
No, the last thing you want is a year or two or even 5 years later, somebody coming back and knocking on your door and saying, where is this gun? It was involved in a crime. You go, I sold it to so-and-so. Where's your paperwork? Oh, I don't have it. Yeah. Well, you're just as guilty then, too, of it. So
yeah, just be careful. That's all we ask. And since we're talking about guns, we need cannons.
You're looking for cannons, yeah.
Because we've got a big Civil War auction coming up, huge Civil War auction. We talked about that last week, but we need cannons. Don't forget us with cannons. And we'll take any big statuary, monuments. If you're involved in a municipality and are having problems with some of the statues in the parks right now, we can handle all that for you.
We can take them down, anything you need. I mean, we have crews that disassemble buildings if necessary.
That's right. So,
and what else we got coming up? For October, we're looking for musical instruments, guitars, amplifiers, vintage, things like that. So they're going to have a big music auction in October. We're calling it Rocktober.
Rocktober,
yep.
Yes.
So we've already got probably 100 guitars in right now, so looking for more.
Martins, Fenders, Gibsons. We need some good merchandise.
Well, once again, we're coming to the end of the show. I can't believe it just flew by this way, this fast. I want to thank Keith Conrad, for our producer here, for putting
all
this together
your
for
hard
us.
Work.
Yes, definitely. And for now, I'm Mike.
And I'm Randy Donley.
And we'll see you at the auction.
Thanks for listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.